Hey guys, this is God of Politics, and welcome back to a brand new video. But before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also join the Discord that is linked down in the description. Join the mock.gov that is in the Discord. That'll be another fun thing that we'll be doing, so make sure you join in by joining the Discord. But in this video, I'm going to be doing my updated governor election prediction for June of 2020. Now, I've been doing these governor election predictions each month. There aren't too many contested governor elections. There aren't too many governor elections really at all. Most of those are in the 2018, 2022 years. So on the off years, that's when most of the governor elections are, with some exceptions in states like Virginia, states like New Jersey, things like that. But for the most part, most of them are on the off years. But I'm just going to be going through some of these states we have over here. We have, I believe, 11 states that have elections here. 11 states, just counting them. 11 states with elections here. I'm just going to be going through them, which states I think are going to go to either party. Before the election, Democrats have 20, Republicans have 19, but the Republicans do have a majority overall in terms of the amount of governors, which is a bit misleading to think about, but that's what the way it is. So first I'll go through some of these safe states here. I do believe actually that Vermont is going to be a safe state. It's actually quite an interesting thing. You have Phil Scott here. You've had some new polls that come out that we didn't have for the last month. Some new polls came out showing that Phil Scott is, first of all, very popular. He's got approval ratings in the 60s. And two, he's winning, in the polls by such a large margin. And while he is going against the lieutenant governor, Vermont's really a weird state. And again, state politics are different from national politics. You can elect Democratic presidents by the largest margins at the presidential level, but elect Republican governors. And Vermont is that case in this example. And so I do believe that Vermont is actually going to go by a safe margin to Phil Scott. This is kind of a bold prediction because it would mean that Phil Scott would have to win by over 10 points, but I do believe that it actually is going to happen. So that's going to be a safe margin there. The next state is going to be the state of West Virginia. You have Jim Justice here, and the interesting thing is that West Virginia actually hasn't elected a Republican governor since 1996. Jim Justice was a Democrat, elected as a Democrat in 2016, but he became disillusioned with his party and then switched to the Republican Party and is now running as a Republican. And while he's not too popular of a candidate, the realignment that we've seen in West Virginia has just been completely insane. The amount of Democrats, former longtime Democrats that became Republicans, is really crazy to see, and that's very prevalent, and I believe it's going to be fully exhibited in this election when Jim Justice wins by a safe margin here. And the Democratic candidate really is not that good of a candidate, and while he's not popular, again, it's West Virginia. The next state is going to be the state of Indiana. Indiana, you have Eric Holcomb here. This is a state, Indiana, that's trended very red very rapidly. If you remember, Obama won this state in 2008 and then lost it by 10 in 2012. Lost it by, 15 Democrats in 2016, something like that. This is a state that's become a lot more Republican. And Eric Holcomb, he's not too popular. He's only got an approval rating around 50%, 51%, something like that. But the candidate he's running against isn't the best candidate, Woody Myers. We'll see if that materializes, maybe pushes it into a likely margin. But for now, I'm just going to put it at a safe margin here. Same thing with the state of Missouri, actually. Missouri, you have Mike Parson here, the governor, who actually wasn't elected to his seat. He took over some scandal from the last governor, I believe. But again, Missouri is another state that has trended heavily red very quickly. If you look in 2008, it almost went to Obama. Now it is one of the, very red states. It goes to Donald Trump. I believe it went by around 20-something points, something like that. You have the state auditor of the state of Missouri, Nicole Galloway, running, but I don't really believe that's going to make it too close here. Maybe you could push it into a likely margin, but at least for now, I'm going to put that in a safe margin there. The next seat is the state of North Dakota. You have Doug Burgum here. It's a state Trump won by 35. Doug Burgum's going to win quite easily. He could win by 50 points, something like that. It is North Dakota, so that's I think that'll be another state going by safe margin, probably more than any of these other states, except maybe Utah here. Utah's an open seat here. You're either going to have Christopher Peterson or Spencer Cox, most likely. I believe that it's actually going to be Spencer Cox, who is the lieutenant governor here. And, Gary Herbert's not running for a third term, even though he could, but this is Utah anyway. It's a very red state, and so I do believe that Spencer Cox most likely is going to win this seat, certainly by a safe margin here. And that's a lot of seats there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seats that are going to be safe for the Republicans. Now we'll get to some safe seats for the Democrats. First will be the state of Delaware. In the state of Delaware, you have John Carney here. It's a safe blue state. Maybe could get close in the future. Some people are saying that, but John Carney is quite a popular person, and I think he'll be able to comfortably win. And the only other safe Democratic state is going to be the state of Washington. You have Jay Inslee here. He's running for a third term here. I do believe he's going to be able to comfortably win. Again, Washington's another very safe blue state. Like many of these states, some are very safe red, some are very safe blue. Washington is an example where it's a very safe blue state, and so I do believe that Jay Inslee is going to win quite comfortably here. Then we actually have 3 seats left. First, with the state of New Hampshire here. For the Republicans, I do believe that Chris Sununu is going to win by a likely margin. He is a pretty popular incumbent, and he's getting even more popular amongst this crisis. And he does have a good candidate facing him, Dan Feltz, who's the majority leader of the New Hampshire State Senate, but I don't believe it's going to be enough to make it too close. But I'm going to push it into the likely margin. But it could go way more than 10 points by the end, pushing it into a safe margin, and maybe we could get a little bit closer, pushing it into, maybe the 5-point range, something like that. But at least for now, I'm predicting that it will be by around a likely margin, maybe around 8 to 9 points, something like that. And then that's the elected states for the Republicans. The elected states for the Democrats, I actually do believe that the North Carolina gubernatorial race is going to be likely Democrat. You have Roy Cooper here. We've actually had some polls coming out showing that Democrats, Roy Cooper is winning by like 30 points or something like that. Well, I don't think Roy Cooper is going to win by 30 points. I do believe that he's going to easily win by around a likely margin. He is running against Dan Forest, who is the lieutenant governor. If it weren't for him running, I'd put this in a safe margin. North Carolina's actually got a thing for unseating incumbents, but I don't believe that is going to be the case this time. If you look at 2016, you see Roy Cooper beating incumbent Pat McCrory here in a year that Democrats did bad overall, where Hillary lost the state by 3.5. He flipped the governor race, and that shows more to me. I've mentioned this before, but more to me about the weaknesses of Hillary Clinton than the strengths of Donald Trump. But getting back to the governor's race, I do believe he will win by a likely margin, maybe around 8 percentage points, something like that, which actually could help Democrats in the lower seats as well, similar to how it could help Republicans in states like New Hampshire here. And so getting down to the final seat, Republicans are already at 26 here, Democrats are at 23. Getting down to the final seat, this will actually be by a tilt margin. I do believe that the Montana gubernatorial race is going to be tilt R, at least for now. This is probably going to be the closest state of it's almost certainly going to be the closest state of the entire governor's race, as you have my lieutenant actually, you don't have a lieutenant governor. You have Greg Gianforte, who's the incumbent from the at-large congressional district, who's running against Tim Fox, I believe, who is the attorney general. Steve Bullock's ineligible to run for a third term, so he's running for the Senate seat here. But if you look at the governor election specifically, you can see that Tim Fox and Greg Gianforte are in a very close race. Greg Gianforte has an edge in the fundraising. I believe he's also a millionaire, something like that. So he's going to be spending a lot of his own money as well as raising a lot of money, which will give him a very big boost here. But another thing, similar to West Virginia, Montana hasn't actually elected a Republican governor since 2000 here. So it's one of those states where, state politics are really different from national politics. But even in national politics, Montana has elected Democrats, which is why I still do truly believe that Democrats can still win this governor election, because they elect Democrats a lot, actually, and it's actually going to be a very interesting state to watch. Probably the only interesting governor election to watch. Just wanted to go through some of these predictions, just kind of clear up what I think is going to happen to some of these states. So after this, there'd be 27 Republican governors, 23 Democratic governors. That would be a net 1 gain for Republicans. Not really a good or a bad night for either party. It's kind of expected. You'd think that Montana would go red. Kind of expected that you'd think states like North Carolina would go blue with those incumbents. Maybe if some late-breaking developments break out, some of these seats could have flipped. But as of now, this is what I see as the most likely scenario. But I'll continue to do these monthly. But thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also join the Discord that is linked down in the description. Again, join the mock-up. It's going to be a very fun thing that we're going to be doing, so make sure that you're a part of it. So thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.